So after the carnage of the last episode, it was nice to take a breather with a more laid back episode where we get introduced to a new team of mecha pilots. Now, I'm not going to get attached to this team. Considering what happened to the last team, it's probably not a good idea to get attached to this team. I mean, I have actually found a potential new favourite character, and if she lives, then I might tell you who it is. But to be honest, chances are she might bite the dust in a later episode, heaven forbid. We begin with what looks like a test combat exercise going sour for new pilot Teresa, who is being mercilessly chased down by two silver-haired pilots. Looking mystical, and after that concludes, there's a new group of pilots, excluding the mystical sisters, joining together, including Yui, who is now a lieutenant. Go Yui! And they do a real team-based combat exercise. Now, it's interesting to note that all the pilots are from different parts of the world, namely places where the beta monsters have taken over. So I suppose that's a decent excuse for this new cast to be so multicultural, you know, to appeal to a wider audience and whatnot. Although it is kind of distracting that they all speak Japanese. Now, I completely understand that it's a Japanese dub, and I know that using another language is kind of out of the question, but at least could they come up with some excuse as to why they all speak Japanese in a military base in North America? Maybe all their initial training was done in Japan, like Yui before the beta took over Japan. They came up with an excuse for the multiculturalism. I'll probably forget about that distraction in time. The standout relationship is the one between Teresa and Yoya, a Japanese American. Teresa seems to have something against Yoya, and it's not too clear what that is. Does she not like Japanese Americans? Does she actually like Yoya and just wants his attention? Or is she just a very hot-headed person? Who knows, but because the two have very differing perspectives on their apparent rivalry, she's angry, he's calm, it's mysterious enough to work. It probably won't last long like the rivalry in episode 1, and it's not worth focusing on because Teresa is not a main character. But at least it's more interesting than the other relationships on show right now. Give it time, even though I'm expecting this group to die horribly sooner or later. There may be some interesting bonds still to surface. I can see that Yoya and Yui are going to have some continuing tension between themselves. I thought that the main combat exercise sequence was pretty well handled. Although it was crazy as hell, everything was shot in a way that makes everything visible. You could always tell what was happening, even as it constantly switched between the mechas fighting and the pilots communicating. I think the composed communication between team members during the action sequence, and even in the scene where they nickname each other, does prove that they are definitely competent as a group. Again, I don't mind that this episode was more lighter, but it does unfortunately imply that the series may move away from the mecha horror genre that I thought it was going for. In fact, I don't even know what the focus of this anime actually is. It started out as a high school drama, then as a relationship drama, then as a horror, and now it's gone back to a relationship drama with hints of action. Where is it going? Why did all the cast suddenly change? I hope it's not trying to put too many eggs in one basket and attempt to be everything. Just go back to being a mecha horror, as that works really well in the last episode. And no, don't ask me how the pilots' battle suits increase their bust size. It makes no sense to me either.